Hello everyone, welcome back to another World of Warships Legends video. Today we are going to take a look at the new campaign ship, that is HMS Somme in Tier 8. So for mods, I'm running the usual mods, except I'm running Supercharger on slot 2, just trying it out. Gives you extra range and AP penetration. And for commander, I'm using Grotmaz with Sims and Swirsky. Just a little extra HP and concealment. I'm also running the reload booster, not the heal. I just like it because it's unique, it's different from other destroyers. So we have about 23,000 HP with this build, 11.5 range, pretty fast reload, extra fire chance from Grotmaz, and due to the supercharger we also get a little extra AP pen. Concealment is 5.4. It's a pretty slow destroyer at 34 knots, but with the booster it's 35. My stats are okay so far. I'm not really happy about the average XP, but most of my games with this ship has been pretty one-sided, so it's understandable. Now, I'll show you 3 matches today. I'll only show you the beginning of 2 matches, and we'll see a full 3rd match. Is because the first 2 matches were pretty one-sided, but they all have like a really consistent style of play. So I'm just showing it how I play it. You don't have to follow my style, but I'm just showing it what works for me. So the enemy team have 2 destroyers here, 2 Hayates, then they have a Minotaur, Schroeder, Rhode Island. So I'm using the torpedo. I selected the torpedo and I'm looking at my minimap. So the white circle, that's my torpedo range. It covers the whole sea cap, so I'm gonna flood the sea cap with torpedoes in the usual direction that the destroyers might come in from in this map. So I used 10 torpedoes on one side, and now I'm using my reload booster to flood the other side, and then I'm gonna start following the torps into the cap. Now both of the destroyers are Hayates, and IGN destroyer players sometimes like to stick together, so I'm keeping an eye out in case both of them are here. By the way, the turrets on some they're 360, so they turn pretty fast, and I'm keeping my turret pointed towards the direction he's coming in from. And it seems like we get 3 torpedoes at very close range, so it has to be either both of the destroyers or we got 3 hits on one destroyer. In that case he'll be pretty low. So one of them pops up with full health, that means we got 3 hits on the other destroyer. So we are gonna keep charging in, and there he is. He gets spotted for a minute and he smokes up. I think our battleships are shooting at him too. So yeah, the Schlieffen secondary kills him, so now we can focus on the other destroyer. And we will win we should be able to win the gunfight pretty easily here. Even the Hayates are pretty good gunboats, but and we have extra HE damage from Grotmaz. So at the start of the game, we killed both of the destroyers. Even if the Rhode Island pops his radar now, we will have 2 different islands between him and us, and they also have lost their Schroeder. So at this point the game is already decided. It's just a matter of time really, because we have 2 caps. They lost both of their destroyer, they lost their secondary cruiser, and their Minotaur is not a radar Minotaur, so there's really not much they can do anymore. So I'll skip to the end of the game, and we get the top spot in the leaderboard, but again, pretty one-sided game. We didn't have to do very much, and all the games that I'm showing you today are basically 3 games that I played back to back. not in one setting. I think I played 2 on one day, the next one the other day. Anyway, so this is the second game. 2 radar cruiser, Alaska and Stalingrad, but their reload is pretty long, so I'm not scared to push into them. And again, I'll try to follow the same philosophy, because you have the torpedo reload booster. You get 20 torps every 2.5 minutes, so I'll just use them to get the cap circle early and try to get some hits on the enemy destroyer. And even if I don't get a hit on him, the 2 destroyer in the enemy team here is Z-44 and Khabarovsk, so none of them have sonars. So even if I don't get a hit on them, I can try to force them to push into me, where I can smoke up and sonar and kill them. So again, I'll use my first batch in this gap where he might be coming from. Then I'll use the reload booster, and I'll use the rest in between the other islands in case he speeds up to dodge the first batch, so that he runs into my second batch. Only 2 torps in this gap. I didn't distribute it, my torpedoes properly there. I should have used another one on this gap. Anyway, so it's being contested. We now know he's in this cap, so our first batch of torpedoes is already on the side of the cap, so he should be pushing in toward us if he wants to dodge those torpedoes. And yeah, so there he is, and seems like we might get some hits on him. And yeah, so there's a death strike from the 2 torpedoes. Again, now we have this whole capture circle to us. We can just capture this C, and if we want, we can move to A, because our Shimakaze on A side is hiding behind our team, not being of much use. So if we want, we can go to A and back him up against the Khabarovsk, or the better thing to do would probably be to cut off the reinforcement lines in the enemy team, so that, because our team still has a numbers advantage on A, so if we can cut off the ships from B so that they can't back up their teammates at A, we should be able to set a crossfire. So our team will be able to set up crossfires from both flanks. And so here we are at the end of this match. Again, as you can see, we killed the destroyer Khabarovsk at B, and we were able to cut off the enemy reinforcements to A. So all of their ships that died, you can see on the minimap, they died on this part of the map. None of them were able to make it to A, and our team is able to set up crossfires from both sides of the map. Again, we didn't have to do anything special to win the game. We just kept dropping smoke for our cruiser at the back, and we took out the destroyers and basically used our torps to force back the enemy team and box them into a corner. So another pretty one-sided game, not a lot of damage, but again, we are at the top of the leaderboard. It's a pretty simple destroyer to play Somme. So here we are in a third match. The enemy destroyers are a Z-52, a Halland, and another Somme. This is probably the only close match I had in Somme, so I thought maybe I'll show this one to its full length. So the same philosophy, I'm unloading my first set, the whole set, in that gap in the island, in case because my RPF locator is showing that he might be coming from that side. But we'll use our reload booster, and again we'll try to flood every entry point to that cap circle with our torpedoes, and hopefully we can get a hit on the destroyer. And if he can't, at least he's gonna be forced to push into us. Now usually I won't push a Z52 or a Holland, but this capture circle has got a big island in the middle, so even if they try to sonar or radar us, we should be able to use the island pretty effectively to defend us. It's already being captured, so he's must be in there, one of the destroyers, and it seems like, yep, he was forced to push into this side because of our first batch, and he took a torpedo, so we have the advantage now. So we are gonna push into him and try to finish him up before he can get his torpedoes out. So we're gonna use a sonar. We both have the same sonar, so yeah, should be an easy kill here. And there we go, we were able to kill him, and he was not able to get his torpedoes out, so that's a good thing. And we should be able to capture B here, a pretty easy cap. And once right now I'm thinking about which cap should I go to after I capture B. Now that A cap, they have a Montana, but their destroyer is pretty low on health, and seems like he's being run down by our cruiser. And once the destroyer is gone, there's only a Montana and a cruiser left there against our two battleships and destroyer and cruiser. So right now I'm thinking there's no point in going to that capture circle, because our team's gonna get that capture circle pretty easily. So I'm gonna go to C, because the enemy team have the numbers advantage there. They have 5 ships over there. So my main goal right now is to slow the enemy ships at C down so that they can't make it to B, because it will take some time for our battleships and cruisers at A to come all the way to C to back up the rest of our team. So our main goal right now is basically try to delay the enemy team as much as we can. We don't necessarily have to kill them. We have 2 capture circles. We just have to make sure the enemy team is delayed here, and we'll try our best to box them in until our reinforcements from A can make it up to here. So C is being flipped. I'm again selecting my torpedo and looking at the minimap how far my torpedoes will reach. So it seems like it's only gonna reach up to half of C. So I think I'm still gonna throw my torpedoes in, because why not? In case the destroyer, I think that's Holland, in case he captures C and immediately decides to come for B, I'll just be able to delay him a little bit. So I'll just throw all my torpedoes down this range. We don't have to hit anything, we don't have to kill anything, as long as we can delay them a little bit. So I'll use the torpedoes in over here, and the Poison is in our main gun range now. I think they have a Vermont over there and another battleship. Yeah, so the Vermont is being spotted by our friendly destroyer, the Z52. He's low on health, so I'm gonna smoke up, I think, and use his spotting to farm the Vermont, and maybe if I can to get some shots on the Holland. So here I am smoking up. Let's see if we can set him on some fires. So yeah, Z52 is keeping him spotted. We take some shots at the Holland, but then he goes undetected immediately. Vermont is still spotted, so we are gonna keep shooting at Vermont. And there we go, we were able to set 1 fire, and seems like our teammates managed to set some fires too, so he's on 3 fires, which means he's not running fight fire with fire, and seems like the 3 fires are permanent fires, so he's gonna lose quite a bit of health. If we can kill him while he's here, our battleships coming from A will have an easier time, because there's still a Preußen and the other one I believe is a Colombo up here, so they still have a lot to deal with. Our cruiser Buffalo just got death struck by the Vermont, and we lose our Yamato there, so the enemy team doesn't have any more ships to deal with at sea. So but our 2 battleships are still they're battleships, so they're slow, so they're still not in a position to push them back. So we'll just try to slow them down as much as we can, because we still have almost a 200 points lead. We are leading in capture circles, so as long as we can box them in and they don't make it to the other cap, they don't make it to B, we should be able to win. So we took a shot at Preußen. We had 14,000 health when he took the shot, and he just smacks us, and perfect timing from the Colombo. He also comes around the corner and smacks us. So we took some pretty nasty hits over there. I guess the only positive I can think about is the last time we were spotted we had 14,000 health, so the Holland didn't get to see us with this low of health. We took all the we lost all the HP after we smoked up, so hopefully the Holland doesn't come towards us. I'm keeping an eye on my RPF locator, and it just switched to Colombo, who's like 8 kilometers from us. Then it switched towards the Preußen. So at this point I'm pretty confident that the Holland is nowhere near us, because it's switching between the Colombo and the Preußen. So the Holland must be going for our Z52, and our Z52 has been firing on open water for quite a while now, and the Z52 is low on health, so it makes sense that the Holland is gonna go for him, a low health destroyer, to try to get rid of him. So I'm gonna use this opportunity to spend a little more time over here to get some more damage in on the Colombo, trying to help out our battleship over here. And we have a Louisiana on the other side of the island. Now we lose the Rhode Island, but they also lose their Vermont. We get a couple torpedo hits on the Colombo and a flood, so he should die pretty soon. And seems like the Holland just tracked down our Z52. Our Z52 is gonna die pretty soon. The Holland has almost all of his HP, so we shouldn't stick around here for much longer. So we are gonna try to leave before the Holland turns around and chases us, because he is pretty fast than us. I think he has higher top speed than us. We are slow for a destroyer. So here we see our Louisiana move up, so we know the Columbus gonna take a shot. So we smoke up and start firing at him, using the smoke firing penalty against him, and we should be able to get him. But our Louisiana does get him with his last shot. So at this point we are the only destroyer left, and our RPF locator is still pointing at Preußen, and Preußen does have a 6 kilometer sonar, but when he was last seen by our Louisiana, the Preußen was beached, so he's probably reversing and trying to turn around. So we are gonna use this opportunity to get away from here. We have more than a 200 points lead, so we don't need to sink anything. We don't even need a capture circle. We just have to not die, and we should be able to secure the win. And Preußen is at 10 kilometers, and RPF locators was still pointing at him, so Holland is nowhere near. So we wasted a little time just getting all our torpedoes out, and just now the RPF locator switched, so Holland is somewhere around 10.5-ish kilometers. So he's fast, but not fast enough to make up what 5 kilometers distance on us, because our concealment is 5.4. So we used another couple of seconds to get our second batch of torpedoes out, and we are just gonna run away because we have the points lead and our lead is only increasing, and we might be able to get the price in that case. Our lead will be 300-400 points, so there is no point in taking the risk of trying to get the Highland 2. So we get the price in. We now have a 350 points lead, and we are gonna just run away for the win here. So yeah, so again, it was close, but not that close of a match. Once we took the 2 caps early, we only had to make sure that the enemy team can't reach to B. So that's what we did. We did our job, and it turned out to be a win. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you on the next one.